Iran is witnessing its largest wave of unrest in 3 years. Across major cities, chants of mullahs must leave and death to the dictator are echoing through the streets, a direct challenge to the authority of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. What began as an economic frustration is rapidly turning into a broader political confrontation. At the heart of this unrest is Iran's collapsing economy. The Iranian rial has plunged to historic lows and has lost over 95% of its value against the US dollar over the past 5 years. Annual inflation has repeatedly exceeded 40%, and in some sectors like food and basic goods, it has climbed above 60% annually. Disposable incomes have collapsed. Everyday essentials like milk and meat are increasingly out of reach. Years of sanctions, mismanagement, and isolation have created a volatile buildup. And for many Iranians, it has finally exploded. These protests are not about a single policy or incident. They reflect deep accumulated anger over declining living standards and a system seen as incapable of reform. What makes this moment significant is the language of the protests. Chants are no longer limited to economic grievances. They are openly political, directly targeting the clerical leadership and Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei himself. This marks a dangerous threshold for the regime. Public criticism of the Supreme Leader crosses a red line in Iran's political system and signals how far public frustration has traveled. Iranian security forces have responded with force, clashing with demonstrators in multiple cities. The state's strategy remains familiar: contain protests quickly, disrupt communication, and deter escalation through arrests and intimidation. But repeated cycles of unrest suggest repression is no longer addressing the root causes, only postponing the next eruption. This unrest also unfolds against renewed American pressure. Under President Donald Trump, Washington has tightened sanctions and increased diplomatic and economic pressure on Tehran. While Iran's leadership blames external forces, many protesters see the crisis as self-inflicted, the result of decades of ideological rigidity, economic mismanagement, and political exclusion. Sanctions have intensified the pain, but they didn't create the frustration, they exposed it. Iran has seen protests before, in 2019, 2022, and earlier. What's different now is the economic freefall combined with political fatigue. The regime still retains coercive power, but its social contract is fraying. Each protest wave lowers the threshold for the next one. Whether this unrest fades or escalates will depend on two things: the economy and the regime's willingness or inability to change. Iran is not on the brink of collapse, but it is under unprecedented strain. The chants in the streets are not just about prices or sanctions, they are about legitimacy. And once that question is openly asked, it becomes harder for any system to silence. Thank you for watching. For more such deep dives, like, share and subscribe Geopolitical Navigator.